on. One thing which has come out very clearly is that there has been a global collaboration in this, and there have been a large number of global trials. The data which has come to us, the science which has been generated out of this global collaboration and global data has, over these last few months, given us, and even the interim results data which has come, has given us an understanding that the T cell response and the B cell response, which we do through the immunoassay studies, is very important and critical for us to be able to understand what is going to be the immunogenicity of this particular vaccine as it moves on. These two vaccines which they have been spoken about right now, we have had the robust immunoassay which have been studied through within the laboratories. And we also have a globally recognized immunoassay laboratory which has sets of immunoassays which actually runs all these vaccines through it. So anything that comes out of this immunoassay lab gives you the confidence that it has gone through this robust assay system, which gives you the immunogenicity and the safety data as we move forward. We have, next slide please. We have a number of vaccines now which are in the human clinical trial stages, and you all know that the DNA vaccine candidate of Zydus Cadila has also received the approval now to get into the phase 3 clinical trials. This is a plasmid DNA vaccine platform, and this uses the non-replicating and the non-integrating plasmid which carries the gene of interest, and that is the S gene that it carries. Interesting, it works at the 2 to 8 degrees. In fact, all our vaccines that we are looking at are right now targeting the 2 to 8 degrees, because वही एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसके बेसिस पे हमारा जो लॉजिस्टिक्स है पूरा वर्कआउट हुआ है, and we are working on that. As we said, it has just received the permission for phase 3. Next please. The second major candidate that we are looking at is the biological E candidate, which is a protein subunit vaccine. ये एक क्लासिकल वैक्सीन टेक्नोलॉजी है रिकॉम्बिनेंट प्रोटीन सबयूनिट की, एंड इन दिस जो आरपीडी टीम है वो इसमें एक्सप्रेशन सिस्टम इसका ईस्ट है, एंड इन दिस अगेन इट इज़ 2 to 8 degrees. It has completed the animal challenge studies and the toxicity studies. It is currently going through the phase 1 and the phase 2 trials, and we are hoping that this should get completed early in the next 1 or 2 months as we move forward. Next. इंडिया में हम पहले भी आप लोग को ये बता चुके हैं कि हमारा पहला जो mRNA वैक्सीन है उसको जो फेज़ 1 स्टडीज़ के लिए अप्रूवल मिल चुकी है, और इसमें इंटरेस्टिंग ये है कि ये वैक्सीन 2 to 8 डिग्रीज पे तैयार किया जा रहा है. अनलाइक द फाइजर एंड द मॉडर्ना विच इज रिक्वायर्स these -70 degrees change, this is basically at the 2 to 8 degrees. So this is going to be a novel model that we bring forward, and this has completed the non-human primate studies, and now the phase 1 study has been identified. This is a self-replicating mRNA vaccine. Next please. We also have partnered with the Russian vaccine Sputnik 5 that you know of, and the Reddy's laboratory now is in partnership with the Camellia Institute, and that technology is now being taken ahead. They have started their phase 2/3 trials in the country. They have completed the first part of the phase 2 trial, which is on 100 subjects, and they are now looking at interim data which is to be analyzed. They also have large global trials like the AstraZeneca, in which that data is also now being looked at. Here again, what they are targeting for India is to try and see how it could be at 2 to 8 degrees. So again, this is going to be very important for us to see कि ये वाला जो एडनोवायरस वेक्टर के ऊपर बेस्ड है, जिसकी ग्लोबल ट्रायल्स ऑलरेडी डिफरेंट कंट्रीज़ में रशिया कर चुका है, उसको इंडिया में जो वो कर रहे हैं, दे आर लुकिंग एट इट विद 2 to 8 degrees, and that is being currently developed. Next please. I would like to now briefly हम डायरेक्टली तो जो अभी आजकल हम ये यूके वेरिएंट की बात कर रहे हैं, और इसमें जो म्यूटेशंस की बात है, एक मेजर इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इज दिस दैट एनी ऑफ द वैक्सीन्स दैट वी आर डेवलपिंग, they are all aiming to generate neutralizing antibodies, and these neutralizing antibodies are targeting the receptor binding domain which is on the virus spike. So the spike protein, which actually then is the one which is the attaching point, which then gets caused the infection. Now what has been seen is, as we have looked, and these are all the platforms, so any of the platforms you see, that is basically the mechanism of action in which the neutralizing antibody gets done, and it targets the RBD domain on the virus spike. Next please. Recently, as we all know, the UK SARS-CoV-2 variant which was identified, and the data which has come in is, yes, there is infectivity, but there's no scientific data yet to show us that. It has 17 mutations. In fact, if you look at the last point, this is just in the paper that came out, the report that came out just yesterday. They have renamed it, and now they say that there are about 23 mutations to it with additional 6 synonym mutations. But if you look at it, there are 8 mutations in the RBD spike protein. And here, what we are trying to see is that how would the vaccines impact it? We are seeing vaccines produce antibodies against many regions. So it's unlikely that small changes would impact the effectiveness of the vaccine as it moves forward. But what are we doing to try and see how we handle a situation if it comes into that? The next slide, please. This, of course, I'm just giving you a computer modeling study which has been done to say that the spike proteins in the new variant, where is it really, where are the mutations? And these are indicated in red to my left. If you see, those are the mutant points which they're indicating. But when they've done the computer modeling study, and this is the data which has come out from the UK studies from their large consortium, they don't substantially affect the antibody accessibility as assessed by the computer modeling. So keeping this data behind us, in the last slide I would like to tell you what is it that we are doing in preparation. As was informed a couple of days back, as soon as this UK variant information came, we have launched within the country the Indian SARS-CoV Genome Consortium, Genome Sequencing Consortium, the Ministry of Health, the Department of Biotechnology, the ICMR, and the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research have come together. 10 laboratories have been identified where this genome sequencing work is being done. And the effort is that, of course, the travelers over the last 1 month who have come back, and all that data has already been shared with you, what is going to be the strategy, how it's being mapped. We are also now trying to see that once we get this data, and this has already begun, in fact, as today we speak, the number is 71. That is the number which has been reported today for the UK variants, which have been identified across all these different laboratories. But I think it is also important for us to see that once we are getting this, it's not just this particular variant which is coming from the UK travelers. It is important for us as we move forward to do a continuous genome sequencing of the samples of our positive samples, and that is what has been already positioned within this consortium. We are targeting looking at the 5% of the positive samples as we move forward. It will also, this consortium will also focus if there are certain sudden events that are known, if there are clusters where you see high levels of infection, those samples will also be taken up for sequencing. We are also making an effort now to study what is going to be the impact of these vaccines and the diagnostics as well on this UK variant. So the virus, already the laboratory 2 viral repository centers are notified, the NIV Pune and the Regional Center for Biotechnology at Faridabad. Virus is being isolated and cultured. Assays are being developed so that these vaccines can then be run through these assays to know how are they behaving. It is also proposed that we would incorporate these mutations into the VLP, the virus-like particle models, and compare these changes in the immunogenicity, if there are any, in the animal model. Plus, it is also now planned in the science and the research group to synthesize that spike gene with mutations, investigate these changes through these cryo-EM structure, so that we understand the whole structure of the mutation and see what impact it will have moving ahead. So this is really our preparedness to see how we would want to bring in these new technologies to help us to be prepared proactively if there is any other variant that is either noticed within our sampling strategy, or if we get to know about any variant coming up from any other country. We've heard about the UK, there is also news about South Africa now. So it will help us to prepare for this. So this is what we would like to present to you in terms of the science that is happening around this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.